Here with actress Auden Wyle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. How are you?
I'm really good. I was doing some research and I guess your name comes from the poet W.H. Auden. I don't think I was really supposed to know who that was, but I looked him up and he's a credible Pulitzer Prize winning poet. Do you have any favorite poems that he's written?
I do. As I walked out one evening is definitely one of my favorites. It was my birth announcement that my parents put when I was born, and so I have a very special connection to it for sure.
Yeah, he's a really incredible poet. I read If I Could Tell You. I thought that was really I don't think I was the demographic that was intended for, but I really enjoy his poetry. What was your earliest inspiration of wanting to become an actress?
Earliest inspiration? Well, I would say, my parents are in the industry. My dad's an actor. My mom was a makeup artist and she works in production. So I was kind of always around it growing up. But I really just knew that it's what I wanted to do since an early age. And I went to a camp over the summer and I followed one of my friends into this barn or whatever. And I found out it was a theater camp. And so we were doing a production of Cinderella, and I was the fairy godmother, and then I just got bit by the acting bug for a sense.
What is it that you love about acting the most?
I would definitely say storytelling. I'm a very emotional person as well, and so it really allows me to just kind of capture whatever I'm feeling and put it through a character. It's also, I kind of find it as a way of healing, whatever the character's going through, whatever I'm going through, I can kind of utilize it for the both of us as well and just tell a bigger story, which I really like.
I saw you reading Sanford Meisner's book on your IG. Is what do you like about Meisner technique?
That's such a good question. I dabble with a lot of different techniques. Right now I go to an acting studio. Her name is Deborah Lemon acting.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. She basically was able to make Ivana Chubbuck technique appropriate for children. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And so she kind of pulls from different techniques, and so I like to do my research. I'll read a lot of different books, but whatever works for me. And so I just kind of like to connect. And I went to a class last night. So yeah, it's a combination of it.
Obviously, you're at the age of somebody who would be in college. Are you planning to go to college, or are you going to pursue your career professionally?
I'm jumping straight into acting. I kind of made a deal with my parents. There's a program that I really want to go to in London.
I've seen your scene on Leverage Redemption. Could you talk about filming that? I guess it was filmed during COVID. And I saw on Instagram you're wearing the splash shield.
That was an experience. Yeah, that was my first professional job. And I flew out, had to get COVID tested immediately after landing, go to a hotel, and then get COVID tested again. And it was just 10 different rounds of COVID tests before I could even step foot on set. But it was really fun. But that was definitely social distancing. And, for our first job, it was definitely an interesting experience to do it during COVID. But it was nice.
Okay.
Yeah. And then filming the scene was also really fun because that was my dad.
Right.
That was an interesting dynamic as well because we were both coworkers. And so it was just kind of all right, I'll see you at work. I came from my hotel. He came from his house, and we were just no longer father-daughter. We were coworkers.
It's really awesome. And to work with your dad on your first scene, who's a really incredible actor, he's actually worked with Sanford Meisner. I thought that was really cool. Do you take tips from him? Does he give you advice as far as acting?
I get all of my best advice from him, and I just sit there in awe, and he's just telling me all of his knowledge. And I always tell him you need to write a book, you need to do something. And he's just well, you're getting my advice for free.
Right.
It's been really great to have him around. Yeah, he's been so supportive and so helpful in everything, and I really feel very lucky to have him as my biggest coach, I would say.
It's really important, to have parents, especially people who can guide you. Can you talk about the advantage that gives you?
Yeah, my mom has been absolutely amazing. So I grew up in a small little country town called San Ynez, which is about 3 hours away from LA. And my mom would drive me all the way from St. Inez all the way to LA so I could go to an acting class for like an hour. And we were sleeping in our car. We were sleeping in hotels. She was just driving me around the clock. We were gone for days at a time. And she made so many sacrifices for me to be where I am, which is just, I owe everything to her.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. What are you looking to do? Like, now the strike is over.
Woo! That is a really big question. Definitely work on a lot of other projects. I have a really great team, and I definitely want to take some more classes and audition as much as I can, get my face out there, and work on some stuff that I'm really passionate about that's in the works.
What are you passionate about?
Ooh, another great question. I really love writing. Ironic because I'm named after a writer, but I definitely really love writing poetry. I'm very lucky to be able to work with this nonprofit organization called Breaking the Chains Foundation, and they really like my writing too. And so I was able to collaborate with them on a roundtable conversation about vulnerability and read some of my poetry there. And so I hope to continue with writing more of that, and definitely acting. Acting is my main passion, and so just whatever project comes along, I hope to just dive into that.
Yeah, I was looking at that on Instagram, and I think it was your piece was titled "I Know You, I Want You to Know Me." Could you talk about that?
It was the "I Know You, I Wish You Really Knew Me." I wrote that entire piece around vulnerability and kind of both sides of it, when you want someone to open up or if it's really hard for you to open up. And so it's kind of, I wrote the first half of the poem. I don't even know if you can find it, but I'll put it somewhere. Kind of wishing somebody would open up. And then I wrote the second half in a different perspective where it's kind of more difficult to open up. And so I think it was titled around just toughness of wanting to break down that wall a little bit and have that. So, yeah.
Definitely. One of the interesting things I was to learn about you is that you're a Libra. And I feel like, looking at your Instagram, I think you're a stereotypical Libra because like you share the same birthday as my brother. So it was like things, yeah, October 15th. So like I noticed like, that you really like nice things. I think, I bet like if you were to go to the Cheesecake Factory, like it would be difficult for you because like, it's so many choices on the menu.
That's crazy. I mean, Cheesecake Factory, I have my staple nacho plate. I'm very comfortable.
Okay.
It was very tough for me the first few times going, but yeah, I really do want to learn more about astrology because everyone's like, oh, you're such a Libra. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. But indecisive, that's what I hear a lot of.
What's next for you?
What is next for me? Going to school, taking a philosophy class today, which will be kind of cool. And then Leverage actually just got renewed for season 3. Possibility of going back for season 3, which would be beyond amazing, but we'll see. Fingers crossed.
That's really cool. Who are some actors that inspire you?
Oh, I love this question. I would say my main one is Angelina Jolie. I just really love all the characters that she plays a lot, and I love what she's about, and I love all the work that she does outside of acting as well. And I think that she just has a really great outlook on the career and the job and the work and everything. And then I would also say, I have a few. It's funny. It's one of those questions.
Yeah.
You definitely know until you're asking and you're like, ooh. Besides her, I would say, Zendaya is a really big one for me. I've just followed her career since I was a kid, and her work in Euphoria is just unbelievable. I actually got to do one of her scenes for a directing class one time, and it is not easy work at all.
Right.
So she also comes from doing plays, and so she's able to get things in like a take, and she's just a professional. So I really admire that.
I saw you did a play this summer. Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah. It was an original play written by Tom Alper called The Pitch, and it was really fun. It was me and 8 grown men who are now like my best friends for life. I love them all so dearly. That was my first time doing a professional play because I did them as a kid.
Right.
But that was my first time on a stage, doing a matinee, doing an evening show. So it was definitely a pretty crazy experience. It's very fast paced, but you spend a lot of time with people in close proximity. And it was some of the best experience I've had, because you just go out there for like 2 months and you do a show every night, and it's fresh and it's new, and you mess up and it was really fun though, and I would definitely do it again.
Definitely. Do you prefer theater, television?
I kind of feel like they nuance and balance each other out a little bit, because I talked to my dad actually a lot about this, because a lot of when he works in casting, people that come from theater, he tends to cast more because, acting on screen, one thing's a close-up, but knowing your body language and knowing where to stand, that's something that I definitely had to adapt to,
Right.
learn and figure out. And so I think that they definitely help me out with each other a little bit. And so because I do theater and because I've done plays, it'll help me out when I'm on set too, just to have the reality of it.
I saw you out on the SAG strike. Like, what was that experience like?
Well, I definitely got my steps in.
Right.
It was really great to be able to join and support my dad and my stepmom and everybody, and meet a lot of people that my dad has worked with over the years, and came up to me and said, I knew your dad when I was your age. And there was a lot of that. But it was really great. I definitely met a lot of people, and I got to understand the cause a lot more, stepping into this industry and being around people that have been in it for their entire lives and decades, and really understand it a bit more. And it was definitely a great experience. And I made a lot of great connections, met a lot of awesome people out of it as well. And I'm very happy that it's for.
Are you a Cincinnati Bengals fan?
Okay. That is something I would love to clear up for everybody, because people ask me that a lot. I'm not. I got it from Abercrombie and Fitch, and it is my favorite crew neck of all time. But my grandpa would kill me because my mom's from New England, and so we're a big Patriots fan.
That was another thing I was reading about, like your great grandparents. They're like historical figures. Like, I guess like your great grandmother, they called her the high priestess of folk art. And they called your grandfather, he was actually like a great grandfather. He was a aerospace engineer. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the Wileys. Yes. Edith Wiley, she actually, the Folk Art Museum in Los Angeles. And so I actually didn't know a lot about that until moving to LA. And so it's really nice to kind of surround myself with family history and everything and learn more about that, because there was a lot that I didn't know because I was around it. But I love learning about my family history, and coming from really smart people. That's kind of cool.
Definitely, like, how do you see your legacy? Like, as acting, I know you're just starting out, but like, how do you see, like, what type of career do you want to have?
I just want to pave my own way. I know my dad is such a great actor, and I would love to just be able to be my own person and work on my own projects and work on things that I'm passionate about. I would love to continue writing. I'd love to continue working with my nonprofit organization and just kind of build something really great and do hard work and do work that I love and learn and just kind of grow my passion overall.
I was reading on Instagram, and it said like you're affected with dysautonomia.
Yes.
And like I guess like it's something that affects your heart.
Yeah, so that's the autonomic nervous system, and so it affects your heart and it makes you really dizzy. It's also associated with POTS syndrome, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So it's mainly heart-based. But yeah, that's another reason actually why I moved to LA, is to be closer to doctors and my health journey, which I've been a bit vocal about on Instagram, but I've never really spoken about it. And getting great doctors that have been able to help me, because it's been about a 4 or 5 year journey with that. And I uncovered a lot more medical mysteries. I recently found out I have Lyme disease. I recently found out it's just a big umbrella that I have been so grateful to, get my diagnosis, because it takes people a lot of years to get that.
You have like a really great spirit. Like though, I was looking at your pictures though when you were in the hospital and stuff and everything. I've never seen someone smile and be happy. And thank you, Auden, so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Yes, those, you should see my anesthesia videos, because those are I always hit one of these. And my mom's always like, please stop doing that. But if you ever see me on a red carpet or in the hospital, you will always
For sure.
morale up. Yeah.
Definitely. I appreciate you, Auden.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
Morale up. Yeah.
Definitely. I appreciate you, Auden.
Thank you so much.